I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Just for the time that you are viewing this video, please let go of all pursuits. Stop trying to get anywhere. Stop trying to make something happen. Stop wanting something to happen. There's something that you came on to this video with. You wanted to either learn something, you wanted to become better, more aware, you wanted to understand. I want you to acknowledge whatever that is and set it to the side until after you're done watching this video. Completely be free of any expectation, any desire, any resistance, any fear, any idea. These things may continue to arise. You may continue to see something that you're expecting, something that doesn't want to let go. All I'm asking you to do is simply see that and no longer engage with it just for the time being that you're watching this video. I'm pretty sure you can do that. It's not going to be lost. You're not going to lose anything. It's almost like you're putting down your luggage and then you can pick it back up later. It'll still be there. But just for the purpose of this video, so that your baggage is no longer getting in the way of you recognizing what is, getting in the way of you seeing things the way they are. Just for that purpose, you're doing this. You're setting down the baggage. And then you're setting down that purpose also. Even the expectation that, okay, if I put down my baggage right now, that I may understand something, that I may learn something. Even put that down. Just no longer want anything right now, just for this moment. And when those thoughts arise of wanting, of resisting, of expecting, just don't be so interested in them, just for now. You can go back to that wanting and clinging and resisting in about 10-15 minutes. So first thing I want you to notice is that now you're sitting here with your eyes closed, hopefully, not engaged in any other activity, hopefully. So you're sitting here, and the moment you close your eyes, automatically, you just start experiencing the flow of thoughts. Perhaps they were happening before too, but now that you've closed your eyes, you see it even more. You are aware of it even more, that, wow, I'm just thinking. So notice how there's a sense, I am thinking these thoughts. I am the thinker of these thoughts. So there's a quote, which I'll paraphrase, that goes along the lines of, one who stays involved in the thinking remains in bondage. But one who becomes interested in the thinker itself becomes free. So that's exactly what we are going to do right now. And this isn't something you have to succeed at. This isn't something you're doing right or wrong. Notice how those are all worries or concerns that arise, which are part of the baggage that I previously asked you to lay down. that worriness of wanting to do it right, is just part of the expectation of what you hope to get from it. Let it be. Have no care for that right now. Be completely open to totally not getting it. Be completely open to doing it completely wrong. And we're going to try our best to stick closely to the facts here and now, not go off into too much mental projection. And we're going to do that by acknowledging what already is our experience here and now. So as I said earlier, the moment you close your eyes, already experiencing so many thoughts, right? Sense of thinking. I am thinking. So notice that what usually keeps you very glued to the thinking is because you deeply care of what is being thought. Your thinking itself revolves around craving and fearing, desiring and resisting. Just take a second to acknowledge that right now, that anything that you're usually thinking is just interpretation, judgment, projection on something you want or don't want, something you like or don't like, something that is good or bad, something that is pleasant or unpleasant. You're not battling against this. You're simply acknowledging it. So take a moment to do so. Now, again, acknowledge once more how thinking is just happening. Perhaps you're interpreting and judging these very words that are being offered right now. Judging what you see in the video or perhaps what you think of it so far. Just acknowledge that. Now notice that throughout this entire time you've been focused on your thinking. The focus may be very sporadic, meaning it just goes from one thought to the next thought and something else, then the next thought. But notice how you are focused on the thought, on what is being said, on the projection, on the interpretation. The first thing I'm going to ask you to do today, right now, is bring your attention to the thinker itself. And whatever you think that is, I'm not asking you to create the feeling of a thinker or find the thinker in your experience. I'm just asking you to acknowledge your current experience. You say, I am thinking these thoughts. So in this statement, you are the thinker. So instead of caring and being so interested so much in what you are thinking, bring your attention, be more interested in the thinker itself. So bring your attention to the one that is thinking right now. You're not trying to do something. You're not trying to do anything about it or change it or create some sort of sensation. You're simply bringing your attention to the thinker. If the thought is arising right now, I don't know what that means. How do I bring attention to the thinker? What do I focus on? Notice that there is already the existing sense of I am thinking this. So instead of caring so much about these concerns, and going with them, just bring your attention to the thinker. The thinking is happening, correct? So instead of just caring about the thinking and what is being thought, just bring your attention to the thinker. We don't care right now, what is the thinker? Who am I? Is the thinker me, or it is the ego, or it is the mind? We don't care about any of that stuff right now. We're simply bringing our attention to the thinker of these concerns. Notice how quiet you have become. Notice how the moment you bring your attention to the thinker, all that remains is silence. Now maybe there are some thoughts arising again, interpreting the silence or saying, oh my God, that was so good, or I wish I could do this all the time, or it didn't work for me. Notice how already there is, again, this thinkingness that is happening. Instead of being so interested in what is being said in these thoughts, again, bring your attention to the thinker. This practice requires you to be very, very interested in just the thinker itself, not so much what it is saying. Now you see, this was just one way of bringing your attention to yourself. And I know the word that we used in this video to do so is the thinker, and we refer to you as the thinker. Don't need to go off into all these thoughts about, oh, am I the thinker, am I not the thinker? But I've heard in books and non-dual philosophy that I'm not the thinker. That's not the point right now. We're not trying to be verbally correct. We're not trying to be correct with our language, okay? But it is what these words are successful in pointing us towards. So, again, the moment you bring your attention to the thinker itself, you just experience silence. From here, perhaps, you can become curious, right? Then what does this thinker consist of? Because it feels like I am the thinker, right? Clearly, I am the thinker of my thoughts. So what exactly is this thinker? Because even when I bring my attention to the thinker, I'm sort of just bringing my attention, right? All that comes in under my acknowledgement is the sense I, me, myself. But when I bring my attention here, first, the thinking dissolves. When my attention is grounded here, the thinkingness is no longer there. It dissolves, even so for a second, but it dissolves. And two, I don't really know what my attention is on. It's not necessarily And so this is something you have to be subtle enough to recognize. When you bring your attention to the thinker, your attention isn't really on a thought. It isn't on a feeling. It isn't on a sensation. It isn't on a perception. Yet it is very self-evident. I am here. I am aware. So it's funny that the moment we stop caring and so much and being interested so much in the thoughts and just try to go to the thinker, not only do the thoughts disappear, but also the thinker is nowhere to be found. It's not a thing to be found. All that remains is just me looking. Me, who though? Me as just the very looking itself. In that moment, I am not, and this is something to ask yourself, see in your own experience. The me that is looking, is that a thought? Is that a feeling? Is that a sensation? So in just this very short guidance, not only did you see that you were able to become quiet, put a pause in the endless flow of thinking, projection, interpretation. Then after you discovered the thinker is not an entity to be found, it disappears, it vanishes with the thinking. Almost like it comes like a package deal. And the I, that previously it was just, I mixed it with the thinkingness. That I that is looking at the thinker or the thought, that one is not a tangible thing. That one is not a thought. It is not a feeling. It is not a sensation. It is not an image. It is not even an experience. Almost like a ghost. Something that is invisible. Not even invisible like a thought, because even a thought is observable. By what, right? I am the one looking at a thought, but the I that is looking, is that one seeable? So very quickly, you come to acknowledge your non-physical identity. What you are here and now. And this is the place I want you to dwell, marinate in. Because recently, on a comment to one of my videos this week, someone said, Sunny, you know, most of your teaching, all of your different videos, just come to this one thing, being aware of being aware. And yes, that's correct. And the person also said, but you never really show us how to be aware. So I thought today, why not make a video to really walk you into this quietude, into this silence that is always being spoken of. However, so first and foremost, this is what I want you to practice. This is what I want you to dwell in. Now, don't just go off into thinking and expecting and wanting. acknowledge those things arising also as just thoughts. Bring your attention to the thinker. Be more interested in the thinker rather than the thoughts. And second, there are many videos on this channel which are only about the practice, because again, my main focus here with Personal Mastery Quest is not to fill you up with more concepts. Concepts and discussion and philosophy is one half of it. However, the other half is silence, the collapse of objective focus. So there are many videos on this channel, and you'll find them on my main channel all over. You just have to look, where you'll find many of these sorts of videos where we guide you into this very silence. There's even a playlist on my main channel, if you go, which is Self-Inquiry Guided Meditations. So please take advantage of those. And I'm also offering 2 free classes right now that are all about the practice. So you'll find those on my website, and I'll link them down below. So please take advantage of those free resources and practice what we spoke of today. Wishing you the best. I'll see you next time.